Museum's brand new fantasy DLC. I will be continuing my old save because I'm willing to bet to get to the DLC we would have to do a bunch of the museum stuff, and the point is to check out the new content. So we're gonna hop in here. And for those who haven't seen the 2-Point Museum, it is part of the 2-Point series, like 2-Point Campus and Hospital and all these, that the general premise is you have these different locations where... Okay, so that must be the new museum. Pointy Mountains. What's the Pointy Mountains? The old curator of the 2-Point Museum went missing without warning or intention. They did leave a note, but that went missing too, until now. But yeah, so for those who haven't seen 2-Point Museum, the general premise is you are a curator running a bunch of museums. So you build this museum, you send people out in expeditions to go get you artifacts, and then you do your tycoon thing at the museum. It's a lot of fun. So we are going to go and jump immediately in on the new content. Yeah, that's literally the same dialogue. You've got mechanics where people will steal your artifacts. You have guests need to eat. So very much in that vein. For those not familiar with the 2-Point series, they're very silly. So, like, you'll see.
Breaking news now on the story of the former curator of the 2-Point Museum, who vanished mysteriously just before its meteoric rise into relevancy. Remember? It seems the curator had ventured to the Pointy Mountains with the hope of finding a legendary artifact to help turn around the museum's failing fortunes. I'm sure they'll be pleased to know that the trip worked out, for the most part.
Okay.
Guests are reminded that historical...
Okay, I have a confession to make. It seems the old curator left me a note detailing the plans of a secret expedition to Pointy Mountains. When I lost the note, I made it all a lot more secret than he'd intended. When he vanished, we all assumed it was intentional. But there you go. That's what brings us here, to the 2-Point, to top of 2-Point County. If the old curator is anywhere, then it's here, probably. Find your predecessor, cement your legacy. This could be one of your greatest expeditions yet. But, as we're here in secret, we don't have the usual startup fund from the Department of Culture. I'm sure you can figure something out. Okay. So we're here in secret where normally we run a museum. And the very last 13 of their 505 stream streak. Catching way too much. I don't actually know which artifacts we have. Oh, it's just... yeah, okay. Alright. So... you can take out a loan from the loans tab in the finances. You can... alright. So this is a very different start. So normally what happens is you start with like a little building of a failing museum, and it's a whole thing about like sending out expeditions to get artifacts to then bring in income to the museum and yada yada yada. So this one's different in that we have no building or money yet. So already a very different setup. So we're going to need to take out a loan apparently, which I don't think we've actually done that at any point when I played. So finances, loans. All right. So we're just going to take the big loan. Excellent. The money makes running a business a great deal easier. You know what else would help? A building. I'm cold. Are you cold? Build a building. Alright, so this is going to be a weird one. Like, are we still going to be running an actual museum here? It's also been so long, I'm having to remember how I do half of this. Once I find the right tabs. There we go. Start with 10 by 10 because I have no context as to what we even need here. Phew, that's better. With a base camp established on Pointy Mountains, we're one step closer to finding the old curator. Now, to keep this place running and to pay off those pesky loans, we should probably make some money in the only way we know how. Complete an expedition, send a display. I don't think I have any staff. Alright. So, there's going to be a couple things we're going to need. I am going to need to make a staff room, because otherwise it's not going to go well. So this does tell you that the minimum requirements for the room is to be a 3x2 space, and all that. And you need this for people to rest. It's a pretty typical mechanic in a lot of Tycoon games, a place for your staff to go. Now, with the 2-Point Museum series, and all the 2-Point ones, you usually have a handful of machines that people need for various things in each room for it to qualify. So like this one, you got a couch for them to rest on. If they get injured, that's a machine for them there. And you have a handful of things that you can add that makes them happier and all that. Because if you do increase the room rating and all that high enough, then what ends up happening is you get perks. We're not going to go too far on it, I don't think. Because I gotta remember I don't have anything set up yet. Decorations. We'll see what we get for decorations for being here. Alright. So that's basically our staff room. Unfortunately, we're not done yet, because the other thing we will absolutely must have is we're going to have a bathroom. So we're going to have a nice little compact Oh, you got weirdly turned. Yeah, so you go ahead and drop all that in there real fast. Then you put a recycling bin or a trash can right there. Okay, so that should be the minimum I need to get things going. Now, we are going to need staff members. So, the way 2-Point works is you send people on expeditions. So I click on this, and we've got the 2-Point. Greetings, adventurer. Welcome to the Scorched Earth. I am Fiona Fiofium, Goblin Questmaster Extraordinaire, but you can call me Fee. These lands are full of wonder, opportunity, and dragons. Quite a lot of dragons. A few hundred years ago, the dragon stole the crown and took charge. The kingdom went from fairy tale to fiery tale. No one in Scorched Land can face the heat, but who knows? You might be different. Maybe. If you are, I have just the thing for fighting dragons. But you don't just grab a secret weapon by the head and straight for the boss. That's not how it works. Start your journey and assemble a ragtag party of adventurers. It's the only way. Let's see, fantasy experts come in 4 different classes: barbarians, rogues, wizards, and bards. Each class has its own variety of subclass traits. Excuse me? Fantasy experts have 4 unique stats: strength, dexterity, intelligence, and luck. Staff can improve their stats by gaining XP and increasing their rank. These new stats are used to counter or unlock most events in Scorched Earth Expedition map. Build the right party of fantasy experts for a successful adventure. Excuse me? Alright, so we need just fantasy experts. Okay, cool. So we get just a fantasy expert. Yeah, and it's just basically saying hire a fantasy expert. So what we're going to need to do is hire staff, because apparently we are going to be doing all this. I gotta remember. More staff. So we don't have those. Advertise new job. I need a fantasy expert. Go ahead and put that in. Okay, we can purchase more land there. Now, right now... I forgot about the radio.
Ricky Hawthorne on 2-Point Radio. Good day to you. It's a good day for me here on 2-Point.
I'm being distracted by... We've unlocked more and more stickers and all that.
First, a piece of music to get things sounding just right.
Guests are reminded that your needs are important to us, but they're not our top priority. Okay?
Yeah, so we basically have to wait for that application to go in. Alright. So we are hiring a barbarian fantasy expert. Okay. So we have now unlocked our very first place here. Alright, so they need a fantasy expert. So what happens is you send them on expeditions. And so this one says, okay, if we go here and we have less than 3 strength, we will take an injury, which just makes the, you know, person sad and all that till they get better. And then this one says if we don't have more, I'm assuming that's luck. If we don't have more than 5, if we have 5 more in luck, we'll get bonus XP on our character. We don't know what we get for rewards. There's apparently some cannon fodder and enchanting items. So since we don't have anything else, we can go ahead and just immediately toss you here. Now, you could also bring 1 item of cargo with you that could do certain things. So what I can do here is since that... Oh, actually, we already removed that event, so that's good. So we can have it where the expedition is cheaper, or we get more XP. In this case, I'm going to go for the XP because I'm going to need it. You also get the choice of going much faster, which adds risk of getting an injury or copper damage. We can do safe, which is what we defaulted to, or we can do detailed. And the difference is detailed takes twice as long, but increases the survey level. And the only thing you need to know about the survey level is each time it levels up, you have a better chance of, you know, a higher reward and that kind of stuff. So I am going to go here because we do have a survey boost as this character's default thing. I'm going to go for the detailed to just try and get more mileage out of him. We don't... I was going to be like, let's go ahead and hire our person or whatever. It's like, alright, but I can't really do that yet. In the meantime, I'm going to make the building larger. Ah, here it is. It's edit building. Okay. Okay. So we got our staff area over here. Alright. And it's basically telling me that we lost $7,000 in our first month. Because we don't physically have an income. So we're going to go here and start getting ourselves set up to actually run a museum. So we're going to need a couple things for that. I'm going to need a ticket booth. Wait, what's this? A ticket bazaar. Sure. So we'll go over here.
This is a pre-recorded announcement. We did it earlier.
So we got our 2 fantasy booths here. More than likely I'll end up having staff... Well, actually, that's a bathroom. I remember, there's a divider walls, if I remember correctly. I know there's divider walls you can build, I just gotta remember where they are. Partition wall, there we go.
Announcement. The museum has a new exhibit, but we don't know what it is yet.
Okay, so now we've sent someone away, and they've returned. We've got what we've got from our exhibit. So our character gained 64 or 65 XP, and we got 50% to the next level of that location. Fool's Gold. Like a chest in so many ways, not like a chest in others. Less chesty ways. Doesn't react kindly to strangers. Alright, so this is our first exhibit. I should have actually read the details about it, but that's fine. We'll deal with that in a minute. Genius, a perfect choice, and a wonderful start for the museum collection, but I expected nothing less. Let's open the doors and see who shows up. Okay. So what did it say this had? So it is enchanted, provides positive or negative effects depending on its grubbiness. Hungry treasure. All teeth for better or worse. Okay, that's cool. I'm assuming it's a mimic. Because it really feels like a mimic. So let's go here, because I need staff members. So let's hire... Right now, there's a assistant. An assistant. Singular assistant. We will also need a mechanic. So we'll hire you. And we're also going to want a security guard. We'll hire you. And I'm assuming we're going to need another fantasy person.
Guests should walk at a natural pace without thinking about it too hard.
Okay, and we're going to need a donation booth. Because that's how we make most of our money here, is people see the exhibit, they like it, and all that. Now, if you look at the exhibit, and actually before I forget, get you onto another expedition immediately. So to unlock this one, we need a higher fantasy buzz, and we need our fantasy expert. And we will need to, activate some buzz bonuses. We'll worry about that when we get there. Alright, but we are going to immediately send our person right on back. Tell them we want more XP, doing our detailed thing, to try and get ourselves better versions of the exhibits and all that kind of stuff. We are open, right? I don't remember if there's a button I have to hit to actually make the place open. Let's check. It's just been a long while. Oh yeah, and you have these you can accept. Oh, these ones are different. The county's biggest music festival would like to promote itself at the museum and remind people that it's so much more than rivers and mud and too many hot dogs. Okay. So that one seems like it's just good news.
Should buy tickets the regular way, as if they existed.
Okay, so we're putting up a thing here that promotes a event nearby. I forgot there's these assignments. Let's see. Holistics wants to promote their totally natural 2-to-1 perfume engine coolant. Made with expensive bark and the skins of putrid juniper berries, and 18 other genuinely ridiculously ingredients. They say, if it's burning your nostrils, it's already too late. It will make my guests unhappy, so we're going to reject that offer. But we've got our ticket price, and we don't know what our stuff is. What I'm trying to remember is
back with a big dig. Here on the line to tell us the latest on the excavation at Pebbly Ruins, it's Monty Barnett. How's it digging, Monty?
Ricky, hello. Great to be with you. It's a special day. The anticipation in the air. Well, I can feel it.
Tell us about the digging.
As of yet, no actual digging. No one seems to know where the equipment is, but it's only adding to the already feelable atmosphere.
Right you are, Monty. Gripping stuff. It's like you're right there with them, waiting for things to happen.
And we have our very first... Oh, it's a Yeti. Okay, so we're good. We got our next artifact on its way back. Cool. So, making a little bit of money. Alright, so we can go ahead and open the crate. So with that, we did have our barbarian gained a level. And we did hit the next level higher, so we have a higher chance of getting a good reward. A fantasy statue. A depiction of a fantasy creature that exists in the kingdom. The real unreal deal. Alright, so this is an incomplete one. So we got part of a sculpture. It's got 3 pieces. So we can go ahead and place this exhibit. Now, the ones that have multiple pieces, they do kind of start... Okay, got a new location. They do kind of start with a very low value, and then they slowly climb, that they're kind of guaranteed to have a good result over time. Before we go on and send the next person out, You are a bard. We'll go ahead and hire the bard. And get another expedition going. So if I were to send an expedition here, so if we don't have 5 brains, we get a penalty to happiness. If we don't have enough luck, it takes too long for haggling. And if we don't have enough dexterity, we don't get the thing. So none of these are that bad. This one is the worst one. And it looks like between the 2 characters, we'll be able to knock out the first 2. But we won't be able to get that XP, which is fine. I'm going to get the XP myself. I'll go ahead and send out a detailed one. Ah, so it's the combined one. They mentioned there's going to be the stats on them. We'll deal with that in a minute. But right now, we just want to try and get ourselves some early stuff. But one of the other things we'll run into is if we look at this... Man, I gotta remember how this works. Right, so you want to be near a merchant barrel decoration for a little extra bonus buzz. So what we can do is go decorations, fantasy, and we have these like none of this is like microtransaction currency. This is just a currency you earn that's shared between your museums. You can unlock all this stuff. So put the barrel there. That gives 5. And then otherwise it wants a decoration bonus. Oh right, I need knowledge charts. I forgot about those things. So we can go here. Because you also have to have things that tell about the displays. Is there a special, like, fantasy themed one? Information stand, wide, glass. Oh yeah, it's just whatever. Map display. Well, that's interesting. I don't think that was the thing the last time we played. So I got a map that apparently makes people want to stay here longer.
Attention. Cheese ball is not permitted inside the museum. What's wrong with you?
They put one security booth right here for a security guard to deal with people. I do also need... the fantasy things. Alright. Science trash can, wetlands, space, nether, which is supernatural. 360 security camera. That's kind of cool. Wide hanging one. Ah, okay. So again, information panel there. We still need more decorations for it. So we can go ahead and we'll put a couple of columns. Well, a column. Put some fantasy banners back here.
Guests found discussing the museum's insurance policy will be asked to lighten up.
Alright. Yep, and we got all that stuff. So they wants me to have more knowledge stuff set up. And then you on top of this just need to be upgraded. So you can go ahead and put that. I do remember what I used to do is I'd have like the donation bin and like a circle around on either side to make sure this is set up. Oh, that's not the information panels. That's the researching the stuff. Okay, regardless, they got back with the other artifact. Let's go ahead and grab that. You need to take it easy at night, Dweller, and sleep well and all that stuff. Okay, so we got a teeny kettle of epic quality. Enchant provides positive or negative depending on grubbiness. May or may not grant wishes. Okay, so we can place this exhibit. Okay, and do you have anything we need to worry about? Near a hanging fantasies torch decoration. Alright, so we can go here. And I forgot they have shortcut keys.
Your experience
So I do not have that decoration yet, so I cannot deal with it. We're going to immediately grab this, send them right back out. We did unlock another point. We're not going to worry about that yet, because I'd like to get the other artifact here. Okay. Meanwhile, let's go to our staff again. Because I'm going to try and get one of each of these people. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to get a second assistant to man the booths. Alright. Oh, I forgot. We have you can be upgraded. As soon as I remember where that's at. Yeah, because anything that could just be upgraded, usually just upgrading it is worth your while. And thank you for the 55 stream streak, Ballistic Badger. I do really appreciate that as well. Catch the last 55 streams without missing a single one. So needless to say, our museum right now, kinda garbage. But we're getting there.
The museum is here to inform and entertain its guests, as well as to make a profit.
I am going to edit our building again. There's a couple more rooms I don't have that I need. They are staff rooms.
If you need more cash and fewer questions, then you need
So we just moved the whole room over.
Other loan companies will have you jumping through hoops. But we're here to make sure our sky-high rates are in reach for everyone. Swindles. It's so easy. It's like you're robbing us.
Okay. I'm putting a training room back here. Because I will need to train my staff members to get all the bonuses and perks and all that we want. So I got a bunch of this stuff. I probably made this room bigger than it needs to be. Okay, so that's fine. That means we can train. And then the last room I want to go ahead and get online real fast is the analysis room.
The expedition team have returned. We now know more about wherever they went.
Okay, because that'll let us analyze stuff. Yeah, and all these little decorations and all that. You can go through and decide what you want. But a bunch of them will give you various perks. Okay. So we're spending way too much money right now. Which is dangerous. Alright. Okay, so we got a really good artifact here in the three-handed sword. So we can place this exhibit. And we will immediately pop down here.
Are you not done yet?
I already have a bard, so I'm going to advertise the job again. I mean, we'll send out another expedition. So we got both of the artifacts here. And we got one of the artifacts in a not-so-great situation and all that. We can go over here, point of interest obstruction, so I need a third person before we can deal with that. Alright, so we got another one here. So right now I'm just trying to get a variety of artifacts as easily as possible. Okay, so this one will get extra money. And we'll avoid the negative from that. But we're not quite smart enough to get the extra XP, which is fine.
Thieves have been prevented from escaping. Phew.
Oh, we had someone try to steal an artifact, got caught by our security.
Expedition team leaving for thorough investigation. They may be some time.
Okay. We can add another room on here. Put a gift shop in here. Platinum crossbows. Okay. So we got a bookshelf. So right now we're going to sell fantasy books. We're gonna sell fantasy posters. We're gonna sell fantasy onesies. And we're going to add windows along this wall.
Guests are welcome to eat and drink while in the museum. Someone thought that was a good idea.
Okay, so you're a bard. You're a barbarian. I will need another assistant to run my gift shop. Okay. And if I recall correctly, there's other things we're missing, which is that I need places for people to sit. Not bad, not bad. The museum is doing well with the local Yeti community, but all in all, the foot traffic up here is a lot less than we're used to. A fledgling facility like ours needs an influx of funds to fully take flight. Put your business hat on and curate up some money for the museum. I'm gonna add a couple of benches over here, so that as the guests get tired, they can sit down. We'll also want to go and add a couple of trash cans.
Has anyone seen a thief? No? Well, it was worth a try.
Okay. We can claim a reward. Excellent, wise adventurers. Rely on the diverse skill set of your party. There's strength in numbers, my friend, and few are bound to go missing. They always do. Protect your allies and soup up your party with potions. These magical cargo items can augment your abilities and create bonuses for the counter-catastrophic events. Fantasy experts can craft potions in the workshop. Look for recipes as you explore Scorched Earth. Try those giant human hands of yours at this growth potion. If that works, I'll give you something to deal with that dragon. Let's see. Potions are special fantasy cargo items that can be brewed in the workshop. Potions can impact your expedition team's fantasy stats, from strength to luck. Among other things, potions can only be made by a qualified fantasy expert and with the potion master's skill. Train your staff in your museums to help your expeditions in the field. Find potion recipes hidden throughout Scorched Earth, explore, and unlock points of interest to discover every kind of potion. Okay, so we unlocked this. Oh, we haven't gotten her. Okay.
Should be supervised at all times.
We just got our experts back from the location. Half Helven half tapestry. Alright, so let's go through and start trying to get some of this to be better. Let's also check on our sponsorship options. Okay, so we're gonna get another one of those soon.
On 2-Point Radio.
What I'm going to do here is we don't have the You're nothing quite finished. So go ahead and have you continue to do the detailed survey.
News when a man dressed as a wasp has been sampling the fruit at Crumley's supermarkets all over the county. If you've seen the Crumley Bumbler, please contact your local authorities and tell them what that was like.
I'm going to start training you. Because what ends up happening later...
Exhaustive expeditions may be exhausting.
I was going to say, what we can do later is once we start getting duplicates of artifact, you can use the analysis machine here to effectively destroy the artifact. But then you learn more about it, which lets you offer better information, which gives you better results in your museum itself. Alright, meanwhile, let's check to see what all you have. You want to be near a pristine fantasy exhibit. I don't have another one of those, so you're on your own. You want to be near a donation stand. We can accommodate that. Okay, and you want to be near a hanging fantasy torch. We don't have one of those. And you hate litter. But yeah, so I'll end up getting more stuff and putting more decorations down. It ends up being a big part of what you do, is doing a lot of the design on the place.
Staff are reminded to explain things slowly and loudly.
Okay, well there's the hanging fantasy lanterns.
Expedition team returning from fantasy. How was the flight, you fools?
There we go. So let's go ahead and open these crates. So basically, I'm just trying to get enough artifacts here as fast as we can. Alright, so this one isn't as good as the one we already have. So we're going to send that to our inventory. And we're going to immediately turn around and be like, hey, person who just left, get back out there, man. And it'll keep doing the detailed search until they get, like, max level. But with that, what that means is I have an extra artifact I don't need. So I can drag that right here onto the analysis building. And apparently don't have someone who's capable of doing analysis, so that's not going to help me a whole lot right now. Let's see, so we got a new offer. Cheesy Gubbins plushies. Cheesy Gubbins would like to expand their presence in the county's museums by selling giant, soft, inedible versions of their famous snack. Yep. You're just going to pay me for putting a display, and then I get extra money if people actually buy it? Yep. It does ever so slightly negatively impact the gift shop's aesthetic, but we can fix that. Meanwhile, what else do we have in our notifications? That's our money. We had only one criminal and we caught them. And eventually we can get to the point of sending two of those at the same time. Worry about that. In the meantime... we'll add a couple of decorations to this place. And I believe 5 is the max, so we've got that made as nice as we can. So open the training room. We need one of you to have analysis for our artifacts. So start training our barbarian to do that.
Announcements are never late nor early. They happen precisely when they're meant to.
Okay, so we're only losing $400 a month now, where we were at minus like 9,000. We're slowly bringing this back. So that's pretty good news. But yeah, so as you can see, there's this kind of rotation of you build the museum, you get the artifacts, and what you need to proceed for the artifacts will get more and more involved as things go on. Hey, Iggy, how's it going? Let me go ahead and get a shout out for... Never mind, it's already there. Get a shout out for Iggy May playing some old school RuneScape. So if you're in old school RuneScape, you can find that over there. Okay. Okay, so... Cool, so we got another piece of the statue. So that makes our statue exhibit a little bit better. They can immediately pop over here without any farther ado. Trying to see what level is the, Okay, so we're getting pretty close to hitting level 3. But yeah, so it is a thing that you basically keep expeditions going pretty much perpetually. You also have an overall museum level up here. That as you gain levels in your museum, you'll end up getting more customers, which means more money, all that kind of stuff. Like we just hit 5. You'll also unlock new things to go with. You also have your star ratings. And your star rating is determined by a bunch of stuff. Fantastic. Most of the things in Pointy Mountains are precarious, but the museum isn't one of them. Yes, the Yeti seems to be enjoying themselves. There isn't too much to offer up here for those lovely fur balls.
Let's check in with Monty Barnett at the Big Dig. What's the scoop, Monty?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's hard.
Have you found anything?
Just going to sit down.
You heard it here, folks. Those brave excavationeers will not rest until the job is done, after they've had a quick sit down.
Okay. There isn't too much up here for those little lava balls. So let's return on their investment and make this place the kind of museum you're known for. Alright, so they want 2 ambient speakers and a bunch of buzz bonuses. I always forget about the ambient speakers.
Announcement. Analysis complete. Learn anything good?
Okay, and all these things I'm skipping by, they're from the other museums and all that. So we have fantasy benches and all that. We'll just unlock all of it. Cameras, food, drink. Oh, we don't have food or drink. Alright, so that's something we're going to need to take care of. Where were the speakers in here? I know we passed them a couple of times. Okay, get information. Here we go. We can pretend the rock speaker fits the atmosphere.
Disinterested guests are reminded that not everything has to be a party, okay?
Alright. So we did get a little bit of information by processing that one artifact. Okay, so we got a better version of our existing thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to send that to the inventory for a moment. And I'm going to go down here. Because this one... Oh, I didn't mean to grab you, security guard. So this one is my less qualified one. So now I can go here, grab you. We're going to pristine... Replace our epic one with a pristine. Unreachable. There we go. And you want to be near a pristine fantasy exhibit. Well, look. You're both pristine, you're not quite there. We'll go and get it. Ultimately, you can see that we're slowly going to start filling this in. We got ourselves our bench.
Keep sticky fingers, both literal and metaphorical, to themselves.
Alright, so best visit 250 buzz. Right, so the thing we are going to run into that I just noticed was just the fact that we don't actually have a place for people to get food. So that's something to address. Okay. That's more like it. This place is really starting to look like you. I mean, you know what I mean. The museum's success has attracted the interest of Bigfoot Foundation, a Yeti organization that supports pointy museums. It couldn't hurt to form a partnership. Alright, so but first, I'm trying to...
But that can't be right.
That'll have to do for right now. Alright, so we got a cafeteria built. Let's see. We have a wizard that we can bring onto our staff. And then we can bring on another assistant. We get one of some piloting skills. Okay. So that way our people don't get upset because they're literally starving. Meanwhile, we will duplicate our information thing. Keep that going. And our monthly report is we're still losing a little bit of money, but we are spending very aggressively. Hey, Lunar, it's going pretty well. And just making sure... Yep, so you're still leveling up.
For certain levels of monopoly.
Now with this, I might actually have enough people to knock out both of those. So we're now sending 2 expeditions at the same time. We are spending a lot of money very aggressively. Let's also check for sponsors here. Yeah, so you only get another sponsorship offer if we start getting towards bankruptcy. And usually those sponsorship offers are way worse. Yeah, no, it's going pretty good. Checking out where we've, the new DLC for 2 Point Museum. We played a lot of 2 Point Museum when it first came out. And so it's kind of good to be back checking it out again.
Caught vandalizing. We stopped them, obviously.
Cool. So we got another person tried to destroy one of our artifacts, and we had security catch them. Pretty much what I've done is I put our security booth right here at the entrance. So they have to pass that security booth just to get in. Later on, they'll become harder and harder to do. Because you have some people who don't use the front door, they'll dig in from below and all sorts of stuff. But we're pretty early game, so not that big of an issue.
Freezing summers, Arctic winters, 23-hour nights. The perfect destination for sun haters and hibernation lovers alike. Receive the warmest welcome, as long as the sub-zero temperature doesn't get you first. Visit Svalbard, the coolest place on Earth. Literally.
Alright, so you've had a dilemma. These are things that happen during your expeditions where they basically give you choices. At least before the Scorched Earth DLC, or the Fantasy DLC, I found them very easy to predict, but it was still a lot of fun. Hello, Potion Seller. Your team comes across a traveling potion seller. Believing a battle is imminent, they ask the sellers for the strongest potion. So you can get a strength potion, a dexterity potion, or no potions. I'm going to go with dexterity. Seemingly uninterested in haggling, the seller mutters to themselves, saying something about a beast. The team decide to grab the potion and leave the cash. Transaction complete. It cost me $5,000, but we did get a potion. Well, I'm not actually super thrilled about that. I kind of need the money more, but that's the thing. All right, so we only lost $100 in monthly profit this time,
I don't know where things are. I am not.
which is good because we're getting pretty close to the end of our money. So we are going to need to start turning some cash pretty soon. We're going to be in trouble. Oh, I forgot I can actually customize what you sell. Increased buzz for fantasy items. 20%.
Expedition team returning from a fictitious
We'll do
place.
Fairy Kale as what we're going to go ahead and have for a reward. Okay. So it's now pristine because we got all the pieces. Cool. So now we're at the stage where both the artifacts I got from that first location, I do have as good of a version as I can get for them. Now, if I continue to research them, we'll get more for it. That's what this part here is. I don't have anything to put in there. Oh, energy boost? Yeah, sure, why not? So if I get like one more of these hungry, like the hungry treasure chest things, I can max that out and it gives me a little bit more stats. Oh yeah, I only need one of each. Let's go ahead and max those out. And then we got a pristine teeny kettle. So you'll send that to the inventory. Meanwhile, you go here, autofill, do this. XP. We could just do safe because I no longer... Oh, let's not have you do it. Actually, that's fine. We can have you do this, but instead we'll give you the first aid to prevent the injury. Because I don't really need the detailed on there. We already got pristine.
Big donation. Thank you.
Alright, so we got that moved to our inventory. And I put out the pristine one of these. Yep, and it's literally just needs to be researched. And we can go over to you. Because we got a pristine of both of those. Yes, there's no reason for... Well, actually, that's not true. We can go back over here. Autofill, choose cargo, XP. We don't need the detailed one. We're just trying to get enough artifacts to hopefully max those out. So we get the full benefit from them. If we do end up with duplicates that I don't need to research, you can sell the artifacts. You just don't get that much for them. One problem I have is I am keeping my people...
Assistant to gift shop.
And a profitable month. Alright, so... let's go ahead and we're still trying to get the last roll. And another thing we can do that would help is set up a tour. There's a map kiosk. I forgot that was a thing. Okay, we'll need to hire another assistant. Very, very genuinely, you end up with an obnoxious number of assistants. Alright, so you're working the map kiosk. We will have you do the happy thoughts, so you make the customers happy.
Tickets if someone worked in the...
Alright. Okay, so we're going to send the mimic thing to our inventory. And we're going to give them a moment to analyze stuff, because that's been falling behind. Because I'm just rotating our people through real fast. I need another assistant. I've already got one of the pilot thing. Okay. So we're gonna hold on to that. We need them to analyze stuff for a minute. And we've got a rogue. So with that, I've got one of all the different expert types for this, which is probably pretty aggressive for me to hire all of them right now, but that's fine. Because it'll take a minute to work on the stuff here.
Non-refundable and non-transferable.
We did lose money
Still buy one.
on that month.
Analysis complete. Our collective knowledge has increased.
Okay, and we got a knowledge perk. Drop you in there. Do we already have the 3? Okay. So I already have 3 results for the Fool's Gold, so I can actually sell this one for a quick influx of cash, because I can't get more knowledge from it. Meanwhile, we can go ahead and add the knowledge boost to this, because as you research stuff, it'll also give you boosts that you can put on them, and they just stick on it forever. Getting pretty close to the point I'm getting a second security guard so they can empty out the donation things more regularly. Wants entertainment. Oh yeah, entertainment's its own category. And if I recall correctly with the entertainment, you have to have a workshop build it, which requires a mechanic. And what I wanted to do was build a tour thing to have them walk through the tour area, or through this whole area.
The museum hopes for less crime and fewer crimes. Does that make sense?
We'll have that meeting here. Okay. I see, let's have the route. That's fine. It'll be 3 3/4 stars. Which of course means I'll need yet more people to work that. But that's another thing that we're thinking. Did you hear that right? That while I was getting food, the museum can get sponsorships now? Oh yeah, now it's been a thing under your money tab. There is sponsorships. You can have 2 of them. That's where you get like the cheesy gubbin plushies. And then this one's for a festival going on. So it's kind of just a cool little thing. You can only have 2 active at a time normally, unless you push towards bankruptcy. They will get you 1 extra one. Usually those extra ones are not exactly the nicest.
Tickets are no myth. Buy one or get banished.
Yeah, so you got a tour guide that's going through here. And we'll go ahead and open training for the next person. Alright, so we will give the thief. Yes, we got analysis, we've got rapid restoration, and we got survey, so we'll give you survival skills. What if our museum had an exhibition like the MoMA video game exhibition? And they got a sponsorship and needed someone to, in a way, professionally demonstrate the game. And what if that game was about managing a museum? I do appreciate when games go to that meta. Like a lot of the games that are around, you know, it's a tycoon game where you develop games. A lot of those like to get to that level of meta. But they'll almost always have like an achievement for making the game within the game kind of thing.
To steal the exhibits, though I do enjoy a chase.
Yep, so we're doing our analysis. We're training our employees.
Analysis complete. Our collective knowledge has increased.
We can get a plot pie to sell. Okay. Time to grab you and drop you in for research.
Announcement. Vandal caught in the act. What
Okay. We lost a little bit of money that one. Okay, so we got a special exhibit that they'll give us $15,000 for having it here for a while. And then they'll take it back after that. You only have to have 25 people see it. I really want to upgrade that, but I shouldn't right now. I have no money. We only had one criminal try and get stuff. So they're doing their best and all that. And her staff keep leveling, which is good. Alright, so we got the gift shop clerk. Let's give you customer service. And that'll be everyone trained until we hit level 5 on people. Hey, Bissette, how's it going? Yeah, so this one's making you start out with like a big loan. Definitely changes the dynamic a lot, because all the other ones, they start you out with just like a little bit of stuff here and there. Meanwhile, we got a new thing. So what's this? Cannon fodder buzz goes up. Huh.
Welcome to another episode of Digging Deeper with me, Hayley Von Trowell, where we cover all things related to archaeology, science, the unexplained, and rubbish exhibits. Later on, we're going live to the Bone Belt to see if an unheard of pair of scientists can prove human levitation is possible. But first, this listener's theory from General Tyrell Coppersnout, retired, who puts forward a radical idea for speeding up archaeological excavations. He writes that instead of brushing away each layer of dirt to carefully uncover and preserve the ancient and often priceless objects being excavated, archaeologists should instead utilise landmines and superglue. I'm just going to stop there. In fact, I should never have started.
Okay, so we did have a bunch of our staff all just asked for a raise. So that's not amazing. You're at the beach today, picked a lot of driftwood. It's soaking it up. Nice.
Announcement. Analysis complete. Learn anything good?
Okay, so we got more stuff there. And we got a buzz bonus. We can go ahead and put that on here. Alright, so we're in trouble right now. We're very low on money at the moment. And just kind of trying to tread water. So the hope here is that we will be able to keep things going. Because we do have that loan payment, or that loan we're paying off. Yes, that's for 41 months. We are paying that down. And technically, it'd take one loan to pay off the other loan to bring the thing down. Can you rename things in the game? I'm not renaming staff. It's fine with games where it feels like the characters actually matter.
Thank you Mohan Rai for subscribing for 15 months.
And thank you, Mohan Rai, for the,
Take another picture. I'm sure you'll look at it later.
thank you for the tier 1 sub. I really do appreciate it. I do hope you've been enjoying your advertisement-free viewing as well as access to the emotes and all that good stuff, so thank you so much for that continued support. But yeah, no, usually, so like games like Auction Not Included and RimWorld and all that, where your characters last for a while and there's like an attachment to it and stuff happens, I'm all down to rename stuff. But like Timberborn, for example, they just die so fast, it's just not worth the effort. And in this one, it's like, yeah, you name your people, but you don't notice them hardly at all. Like, the different individuals don't really stick on here on any meaningful level. So what I think is going to unfortunately need to happen, chat, is we might have to cut some people. Which sucks, because really, so we only have one security and one mechanic, so we need them. The 4 fantasy people, those are the ones we send away to do stuff. Let's see if I can't sneak. So, if I remember correctly, yeah, this is going to have a cash reward. So it costs us the same amount, we can get the money back. So it'd be a neutral spend. Yeah, I can't afford it.
If you're going to take, please photograph the exhibits.
Can we do this one? Because you cost 5,000. As say you cost 5,000. We can go ahead and tell you to do it, not for XP, but on the cheap. So we can do it for 4,000. And we are going to potentially damage the helicopter, which will keep it from going for a little while. But yeah, so we're going to send us to go extra fast, come back. It's going to cost us 4,000, but then we can probably take the artifact and then sell it to get money thing. It's much better when we can watch poor Sentient Cookie die horrible deaths again and again. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of game where there's things of consequence. So, like, for example, I would also be on board with Bannerlord, your main people being named. That's one that makes sense. Versus like individual archers or whatever you could name them, I wouldn't bother with because they're just cannon fodder and they die in droves. Because at that point, renaming things becomes more of a distraction than something beneficial to it. I'm willing to bet you probably can rename. Wait, wasn't there? Oh wait, yeah, there was a Twitch integration mode for this, but it was more people could vote on events to happen. And the result was you just kept having, like, the bad events happening again and again. And I ultimately stopped doing that because it didn't really add interest to it. Like, the events were easy to handle. It just made it so progression kind of stopped. So you just kind of watch people having to fix all the toilets again and again. Okay, so we're going to put you into the analysis room. Alright. On Crusader King 3, streamers have also named characters for viewers. Yeah, and that's another one I feel like you could match.
Assistant to the cafe. That's where you work now.
So one good news is this thing will be done soon. No, it's not. It'll be done eventually. And when it's done, I get paid 15,000. And I gotta keep paying my people a little bit more, or they'll leave. Alright. The big thing I need to add to our museum that's missing is I am missing the I am missing entertainment, but that's gonna take a workshop, which is like 12 or 17,000 to build, and then another 5 to 6,000 to build the thing.
In the news today, word of a new experiential exhibition dedicated to people's rubbish. Located at the former 2 Point refuse tip, exhibits will include crowd pleasers such as a decaying toxic trash mountain for the kids to climb on, lucky dip skips, and a giant furnace powered by people's recycling. During the museum's grand opening, owner Timothy Smallhorn to say that months of preparation and huge investment had gone into the exhibits, and that any similarities between the museum and the location's former purpose are purely coincidental.
It's the integration also was only allowed to redeem one good, one bad event with some minutes of cooldown, so after someone redeemed a good event, the next person went for the random, and then eventually someone got bored and just redeemed the bad one, and so there was nothing else to redeem. They couldn't typically have chat in mind. Yeah. No, I think it would have been a lot more fun if, like, the guests came in were randomly named people, or, like, the criminals who came in were randomly people from chat and all that. So it was just genuinely one of those things that, by and large, the Twitch integration, while it's fun for a short period, it was definitely one of those things that, there was especially, the big event was there was a toilet event, that all the toilets would break and everyone would need to use the bathroom at the same time. And it basically just shut down your entire museum for like 5-10 minutes while your people fixed it all up. And it came up so often that I was like, you couldn't keep people doing stuff because you were busy fixing all your toilets. And it wasn't like the fun RimWorld thing where you have like a raid show up and I have to outplay it. It was like literally you just hit fast forward and waited. I think if they added a lot more like negative but kind of benign events, it could be a lot more interesting. So it looks like we avoided getting to the point where it's offering the bankruptcy thing. We're still not out of the woods, but we are slowly moving things forward because every month we manage to hang on is that much closer to having this loan paid off. Yeah, or if the viewers could vote on events or storylines from several options once in a while without having redemptions, yeah. You're so tired but you don't want to go sleep yet? The struggle is real. Okay, so we only lost $60 that month. Oh. Oh!
Priceless exhibits are
That person has a trait that caused them just spontaneously to get hurt. I saw they were getting healed from being hurt. I'm like, what? Why are you... How did you get hurt? They're clumsy. They just randomly get hurt. Okay, so both those exhibits are maxed out. I'm trying to not take a second loan, because if I take a second loan, we could be in trouble. Especially since this loan won't give me enough to pay off the other loan. Because the idea would be something like you'd pay these loans to knock down the overall interest rate and yada yada.
attention.
So you'd lose more money from having to pay more interest, but you'd have lower payments so you could stay above water to, you know, make a profit to hopefully pay it off quicker. Now let's fast forward things, because we're kind of just in a holding pattern right now. If we can get our big cash out to $4,000, then what I could do is send out another go to hopefully... Okay, we're going to send out another one right away. Gonna send it here again, start expedition, autofill. We are going to have it discounted. And we're going to make it go... Actually... We'll do it the safe one, because otherwise we don't get survey.
Are leaving now. Please say goodbye.
Alright,
Good riddance.
so that means we're probably going to go into the negatives again. But the hope is, with this, whatever artifact I get, I'm just going to turn around and sell it immediately to effectively make it give me like 4,000 bucks. Cool, so we finished with the exhibit. There's our 15,000 from that. So that's going to be taken out of here. We don't want to keep this going longer than we have to. So for right now, I want to make another room. We need to make the workshop. I can barely afford this. Okay, so you got to be 4x4. We're making it the minimum size required. and putting the bare minimum in for it to function. And start project. Kings of the Ring will cost... Okay. We do want to get those going. Alright, so if we get $5,000... Wait, I can just build the science exhibits now? That's cool. Okay, you used to have to go out of your way to get those. Alright, and then these are things to support. Yeah, so what we'll want to do here is as soon as we get like 5,000 bucks, I'm gonna need someone to go into that workshop. Does our mechanic have the workshop skill? Please say yes. Okay, all your pay is fine. Those are our customers.
Freezing summers.
They do.
Arctic winters. 23-hour nights. The perfect destination for sun haters and hibernators alike.
Okay, we did turn a profit last month.
Welcome. As long as the sub-zero temperature doesn't get you first. Visit Svalbard, the coolest place on Earth. Literally.
So then the hope here is that we can do a couple runs of this thing to just try and score quick cash to keep ourselves up. And then get entertainment here, because that's right now the stat we're doing the worst on. I don't remember where it's even in here. Common thoughts. Tickets are an okay value. You're really enjoying the museum. The exhibits are well decorated. They've got a pretty high happiness and environment, but entertainment is something they're missing. Okay, so you're now an expert for ranking up, which means you need training, which costs money. Okay, so send that to the inventory, and what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna hit the sell button. That's 10,000 bucks. Okay, I can give you more survey skill for $1,000. We can go here and start another venture that same spot. Okay, we have maxed out the survey, so we don't have a reason to care about that at all now. And we can have you go for we'll have you go for the cheap, and you're gonna do fast because we no longer need to worry about survey. So we're gonna just have them get out of here as quickly as possible.
I would not like to pick a card.
And let's see. So the fantasy specific thing costs us a bunch. The realization station is not tied to any theming, nor there's the sound booth, I believe. Let's go ahead and get this. A janitor with the workshop qualification. Boo. Oh, that's not... Hey, you know what? I can't hire you. I can't afford you. So crap. So I can't actually make that. Okay, canceling that gave me my money back. That's at least some good news. So I guess our janitor's just gonna run around until they level up, and then we'll give them the workshop thing and we can get the entertainment online. Okay, and we broke the helicopter. Okay, we're gonna send that to our inventory.
Childish behavior will be met
And
with
sell it.
childish retribution.
Okay, that loses us money. That was not part of the plan. Alright, so if we get the mimic chest thing, we gain money. If we get the other thing, we lose money on the trip. So that's not a sustainable thing, because it'll probably be a 50-50 between the two. That ultimately they'll probably make money doing it, but it'll be unreliable. Okay, that has both of those. We can guarantee ourselves a good result. We can knock those out. We'll reduce the cost of going. And we can't afford it because it'd be 6,000. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong currency.
For certain levels of monotony. But then
So we get up to 6,400 here. We could send that expedition and try and make that work. There we go. Start expedition. Go here. Send. Autofill. Reduce the cost. Safe. We'll also keep them leveling too. But then we can get that stuff. We can also have it where we can research, and the researching it makes this more valuable. So we're actually, that one's already maxed out. Okay, so they're already maxed out. So good news, I could just sell that immediately. And hopefully that'll bring in the money we need to keep afloat a little bit longer. Keep our people leveling up. The downside is as they level up, they demand more money. And that just gets really expensive. But if you don't pay them, they quit, and it's way more expensive to hire new ones. Okay, so we lost about 2,000 bucks that month. And the reason we went so far in the negatives because we sent out the expedition and it didn't charge me until they left.
your gum belongs in your mouth, the bin, and possibly a third disgusting place.
Finance warning, we've run out of money. We need to take out a loan or sell something. Or cut costs. You got a bankruptcy offer? Because I'm definitely not taking our loan if I don't absolutely have to. Because that's just... You dig deeper and deeper and just die to interest. So what we can do... is the moment that dips under 200,000, I could take this loan and pay off the other loan. And that'll reduce my monthly payment. While not really changing my debt amount. And so it'll give me an extra $2,000 a month to juggle with. Now, the game doesn't average out your pay, so if you have a month where they don't empty the bin, it'll show you as hugely in the negative, and then the next month, because you have like the 2 months worth of money you pull out of it, it'll show you as hugely positive. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, that did not make me money.
We now go live to the...
Alright, so with my 6,000... Okay, so I need a little bit more. I need about 9,000 bucks here.
Morris and Hilary Devan are about to attempt levitation by harnessing the area's unique magnetic field. Yes, the first twin, Morris, a fine, strapping man, is taking his place on the cliff edge as his brother cheers him on. And there he goes. And it's down. A nasty fall for the young man. What courage we've witnessed in the name of scientific progress.
Yes, courage. That's one word for it. Monty, we have to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Righto.
Okay.
Disinterested guests are reminded that not everything has to be a party, okay?
Hey, profitable month. Alright, let's see, Revenge, you made a fall asleep in a chair. Also, flat rocks and driftwood. You don't know if you can carry all that much. Yeah, no, it's, I've known a lot of people who used to go and, like, hit up the driftwood kind of stuff and all that. Okay, so you're... Ooh, we can do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this loan. We're going to pay that balance off. And so now what we've done is we've cut down our payments by 2,200. So that's going to be a little bit more money to help us continue to grow things at the place. I'm going to fast forward a little bit more. But yeah, you can see how this game moves around progression-wise, that you send off your helicopter, it goes and gets exhibits, and this map will be huge. Like right now we don't see much here. Whereas if we check some of these other ones, these are some of the other places from the base game. So that gives you an idea of like how ridiculously large some of this is. It also looks like, interestingly enough, They added a torn section down here, so I'm wondering if that will appear based on fantasy stuff. Now we have the DLC. And they've got, like, the Nether one. And there's apparently one over there I haven't explored. And you got, like, this desert one. And you got space. You got just, like, plain old, simple. Oh, interesting. Yes, there's a new one on there. But yeah, so you got all these different areas. So where we see this little bit here that I can explore, clearly all of that's going to open up out there. So it's going to take time. Once we get to the point where we're no longer fighting with the loan debt, it'll be way easier to move forward, because right now it's effectively just $4,000 every single month is just going into the garbage because of loan payments. Because we're paying all that interest. But that was just the nature of how they started us on this tile, is they forced you to take a loan because you start with no money. Alright, how are we doing, staff member? We got one person who wants a raise. Always. Cool, we turned another 5,000 this month. Yeah, so we look at our guest happiness on these gauges. Average entertainment is where we're just dying. That's going to be a thing that's just going to be a problem until our janitor levels up to the point that we can get them the mechanics skill. At which point then we can have them go ahead and work on the this stuff to get us entertainment things, and that'll start fixing that stat. And what that's doing is it's causing our guests to not stay as long, which is then eating into our profit quite a bit. Our potential profit. Alright. So, we've got the things from here. There's an obstruction here. You need a dragon tail potion. So we have mythical gear, and we only got a average quality tapestry. Let's go ahead and send people here. We are going to get hit with 15 unhappiness if we just go with that the way it is. So let's switch you out. Do we have the bard available? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's perfect. So we're going to not get the penalty. We're also going to get money. And I do like money. And for the moment, we're going to focus on reducing the cost of the expeditions.
Starting on an expedition. I'm sure you'll need it.
Cool. So we're turning a profit still, so that's good news. You're gonna make little bonsai tree and sell them? That's neat. Yeah, so I think we'll end up playing this game for about 2 hours, then we'll switch over to the Wandering Village for the sponsored segment. So if you did enjoy 2 Point Museum, this is 100% perfectly in line with what you expect. The one thing that's kind of interesting is when we look at our other areas and what they require, it was basically you choose like your one type of expert and you'd have different skills you needed. This one we actually have, while it's one expert, they have stats to them. So it makes the experts a little bit more complicated. But that's cool. So we got bolts, buckle, belt, boots. Can be equipped by a staff member. Allows the wearer to move with lightness of foot that's totally out of character.
We do not offer
Okay.
discount. You've had your
So we have equipment. Okay, and you're already maxed out. So if I have my staff member equip it, does that make it not stay there? Interesting. I mean, we can get much better than the great quality. We're gonna go ahead and do this again. Cool. We'll do save. Actually detailed. Reduce the expedition cost.
leaving for thorough
Because I'm curious,
They may be sometime.
if I have to have it on the floor to have a staff member equip it. And I assume if a staff member equips it, it no longer gives me the benefit on the floor. Because that could create a weird situation where I put, like, some museum exhibits out of the way where we don't have guests going to them, and then just give those things to the staff members for whatever benefits they get. My assumption with that one is it makes the staff member move very fast. At which point, then, you know, what staff member do we want to have high mobility the most? Yeah, so it's looking like our average monthly... Okay, so we had a, someone try and steal an artifact.
Staff requires medical attention.
And security has pepper sprayed them. Yeah, speedy security would be probably a big one. Very much so, because they have to chase people.
Has been retrieved from thieves. No one takes our stuff.
Alright. Okay, we got another piece of the tapestry.
The expedition team have returned. We'll know more the next time we go there.
And so we're going to go back here and try and get... Oh, that's not the right place. Okay, so prevent that. Thing of the follow. Welcome to the stream. I still do want to make sure we're getting our money. Yeah, we got the stats. Oh, I see. So we're looking for the one with the most luck. You've got some luck. So we have 16 luck. Oh, I think it's telling me we are good. It's fine, whatever. Details. And you're still leveling up. Okay.
I'm reminded to filter.
Yeah, so it's taking a little bit to get used to the stats thing. I imagine the stats thing has become something... Well, no, because they'll probably make it escalate a lot. It's probably one of those things that you'd keep in mind. It's like, oh, we have this one needs a ridiculous amount of luck. Okay, we're going to go ahead and send 2 bards or whatever. But it's definitely a neat twist on the entire model we've got going on here.
Let's head back to Monty Barnett, reporting from the Bone Belt, where the second...
And then meanwhile, while they're going... Okay, that's an obstruction that requires 3 people. We can't do that one yet. That one didn't give us anything. And that's another obstruction that requires 3 people. I don't have anything left to gain there. So I don't actually have another thing to send people out unless I hire more.
By harnessing the area's unique magnetic field.
Incredible scenes here, Haley, as Hilary Devan readies himself. He's recalibrating the launch trajectory. He's taking a longer...
Okay. Expedition Dilemma. Coins for the Kingdom. A giant hooded figure approaches the party, claiming to be collecting taxes for the Kingdom. So we can pay our taxes, avoid our taxes, and then if I have the Kingdom Crown... I could choose not to. We're probably... I'm gonna pay the taxes. We got a strength potion. The team are unconvinced about the collector's credentials, but pay anyway, not wanting to cause or stir a scene. Which we did apparently get a potion for that, that's fine. My concern was, if we chose not to, they would fight and you'd potentially have a person go missing, which is effectively the equivalent of death in this game.
Plucky pair, they'll be back to try again just as soon as someone invents a method to fix their life-threatening injuries.
An unexpected turn of events, for sure. Perhaps the wind conditions weren't quite right today. Anyway, that's all we have time for.
Okay, and entertainment.
Guests are prepared for certain levels of monotony, but they're not prepared for this.
Alright. So what do we get now? Cool. So that's a better version than what we had.
Complete. So the box.
So let's grab you, send you to my inventory, grab the better one, put it on the floor. Oh, we should also see about remapping this. As soon as I remember how to do that. Okay, so we should be changing the order. So move you up. Move you up. Move you up. Move you up. Wait, what? Ah, the click points are real dodgy. That's what's going
The
on.
museum has a tour stand, but no tours. Why is that?
Okay. So I want you to go down here, cut across. Yeah, so you go down here, cut across here. And now you should go to the banner after that. So you go 1, 2, 3. The teacup should be farther up here. Okay, so basically go down here, 1, 2, 3, cut to the banner. And now the sword should be... Is that right? Go here, 1, 2, 3. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, go there and run across. Confirm. So that is a 4-star. So our tour is better. Hey, Vasset, how's it going? We did hire a mechanic who's able to make entertainment, so we're right about to get our entertainment on board finally. Meanwhile, this is the curiosity I have. If I put the mythical gear up here,
Goblins are welcome in the museum. For now.
choose our staff member.
Thieves were caught before they could escape with an exhibit. That was a close one.
And we now have our entertainment booth. All right, with that, we are now getting these. We'll go ahead and upgrade that building. Yeah, so now we've got entertainment set up, and as you can see, people are queuing up for it really fast. We already got a queue of 6, and it's just going to keep building, but that should help with the entertainment. We're going to need that. But you can kind of get a feel for the balance that for their happiness, you got to juggle. It's like, what does the environment look like? How happy are they? How hungry? Do they need to use the bathroom? Are they thirsty? What's their energy? And thank you, Zoffer, for the 350 stream streak. Catch the last 350 streams without missing a single one, so thank you so much for that. We do level up our museum. It is interesting here that... Oh, receive 5 more stars. That's for, like, just the main leveling. What are we missing to get... our first star on this one? I think we're gonna get our first star when we get that.
Self-guided tour by walking around.
And how's the money going? We've already paid off a chunk of our loan there. That is one thing that the loan does slow down the start of this, which I think is good. It is one of those things that once you get yourself set up on a museum or two, you kind of learn the process. You can kind of burn through some of the museums a bit on the quick side. Some of them take a little bit more effort than the others. But that's okay. Yeah, so we've got that going. The museum's level is just getting more buzz and all that, which is getting more artifacts of higher quality and whatnot. They do have a list here of our exhibit list. So we can look here and see that, for example, the... Yeah, I do feel like...
Disinterested guests are reminded that not everything has to be a party, okay?
So it's cool that they have it. Can I have it not on the floor? And then does my person lose their boots? Because I kind of want to give the boots to them, but not actually keep the boots on the floor, because it's going to negatively affect our Our stuff where... So... Yeah, so you no longer have the boots on. I think that's fine. I'm gonna actually sell those right now. And just get the cash to send out another expedition. Yeah, so we still want to get more of the tapestry. And we can go ahead and... the XP journal. Detailed, get out of here.
Get this man a cold drink and a chair to sit at. His blood's gone lumpy and his moustache has fallen off. Witness supernatural mysteries too ridiculous to believe. Thursdays at 9 on live TV. Somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking, is we would have to make like an exhibit room, but it's staff only. I also wonder if the quality of the exhibit affects the power of the item. So like if I get an average quality of the running boots versus a pristine quality of the running boots, do the pristine quality of the running boots give a higher buff, or is it just, it doesn't care? Because that's one to figure out. Alright. But yeah, so you can see we've reached the point of being financially stable, that things are going smoothly with the museum, where ultimately I could just fast forward the game until the loans paid off and do that, which is a classic you always run into with like the Tycoon and City Builder games if they don't have like the random events that really, you know, force you to do a whole lot. You can stabilize things and move forward. And there are some random events where you have like a whole bunch of thieves show up and you have like problems with the toilet. It is one of those things that as you gain stars in your museum, the severity of the events increase. So since we're at 0 stars, the severity of the events available are pretty minute. But they will go up over time.
Museums often offer guided tours. This is not one of those times.
Okay, staff are leveling up. Oh, I can upgrade your stats?
Expedition complete. Fetch the crowbar.
Okay. Interesting. So we got another piece of the tapestry. So it's now pristine quality. Does that mean all of my staff members need that? So let's do this. Go here, go experts, click on you. We can upgrade your stats. I'm going to give you a bit more dexterity. Wait, what was that? You're sensitive. Hates when bad things happen on expeditions. I understand. Alright, we got the barbarian. We're gonna have you just be tough. I'm just gonna lean into the stat I think associates with each one. You are my bard, so I'll give you luck. Okay, so that's an interesting consideration. Okay, so you're an analytical person. We're gonna have you lean in on that. You're a restoration person. We're gonna have you lean in on that. Basically, take what they're good at and make them better at it.
People, like plants, need water.
Alright. So we cannot clear that. We can clear this one. So we can autofill. One of our people will get a Prince Pox, which decreases that. And we will get ambushed and in problems. Why are you not filling in all the spots? Oh, you're training. Never mind, I can't send you that. But yeah, so you can see here, we'll just bring up that map again. To give you an idea of stuff we got going on. So you can go on this expedition, but I need the Dragon Tail potion. It won't even let me do it. But yeah, you have to have really high stats. All these ones that say MIA, it means it literally will kill my staff member. They just stop being one of my staff members. So I need a lot of stats to get through that dragon. We can go over to this one, and that one we can actually set up an expedition and send them, but we will get sick if we don't have enough luck. We will have money stolen from us if we don't have enough strength. And then there's a possibility of getting extra XP if we have enough intelligence. And we could check over on the other side here. And actually, yeah, so we can get illness, injury, and all that kind of stuff. It's neat things, but there's lots of stuff going on. The thing that the fantasy one seems to really be adding that we haven't had before, is just this whole idea behind your character stats and all that. Yeah, and we can't get anyone with enough intelligence to bypass these while we have people training. So that's kind of a cool mechanic. It's taking it so where you've got all your other museum and saying, all right, here is these 2 extra layers to it. One that you have actual like intelligence and strength and whatever stats for like the RPG thing, and then the second one is the idea of having gear. That those seem to be the 2 extra layers they've added, which is pretty slick for a DLC. The starting you horrifically in debt, I don't have strong feelings on that. That's not an unusual way to start out a Tycoon game, to avoid having the player rush through it too fast. Because that is a thing that does occur in some of these games in this genre, is you just blast through the content way faster than anything reasonable, because, you know, unless they make everything extremely cost prohibitive. It still does suffer from the Tycoon thing where, now that I've stabilized this, as long as I've got my security good enough to counter out people robbing me, literally I could just fast forward and just walk in the other room until I'm past my loan. But that's a very normal Tycoon problem. Hey, the Ends, how's it going? So what I think we're going to do here is we're probably going to move on to the sponsored segment in a minute, because I can keep playing this and keep growing the museum. I just want to kind of check it out to see what the differences were and all that kind of good stuff since this dropped. Because low-key, obviously, for just raw viewership, Rimworld's probably where it's at for me right now. But it does still have the same one big negative that I have for this, which is you end up getting to the point that once you start stabilizing your expeditions, that you just keep sending the people back again and again and again and again. And it ends up being a very click-heavy thing of, go here, send them on the expedition, do that, set it, auto, you know, that one goes off, go here, do that. And you'll actually get to the point where you'll have 3 helipads. And because of how fast the expeditions go, even on regular speed, it ends up being just you sending the expeditions off again and again. I do wish they had expeditions that took significantly longer, but, you know, Buttheck had more of a benefit. I'm going ahead and upgrading all my employee stuff. It doesn't cost me extra in long-term expenses to run it, but it does mean my employees will recover faster. But yeah, so you've not seen any real depth on how building out the museum is. It's a lot of like what you've seen over here, where I've got the information stuff. We would click on this, make sure all of its perks are all maxed out. Yes, this is the only one that's not maxed out right now, because you want to be near a blacksmith's column. So we can go here to a blacksmith's column, and we just scooch that on in here somewhere. It now gets the max number because it's near a blacksmith's column. So all of our exhibits here, other than getting them all to pristine, are maxed out. And that's literally just the Festival Banner can't, so it's literally just getting those boots. And then those are the best they can for those. It does feel like in this DLC, I'm getting the higher level ones much faster than I was in my previous playthroughs. Which might be a deliberate thing, because there was definitely some negative feedback about you would go to some place like this and just keep sending the thing again and again and again and just not making the progress you wanted. There we go. And you can still have more. Oh, I just spent money, that's right. There's all that stuff. And once they pay off the loan, we'll be in great shape because we'll be making an extra $4,000 a month. But with that said, what needs to happen now is I gotta use a restroom. So what we're gonna do is, if you're watching on YouTube, the stream will drop as I switch games over. Twitch side, we're just gonna sit here and like do all that. Let's see, if you do a detailed expedition, does it take longer? Yes, it takes twice as long. But the idea is you get the level of the location higher, which gives you a higher probability of getting a higher quality exhibit or whatever reward more. This actually feels like a real DLC. There are other upgrade things where usually just one new hospital, one new illness, 5 decorations, and you found it really boring and somewhat greedy. Yeah, no, I remember in their previous ones, like the previous titles, that'd be like, here is your one additional room and your one additional like map. And it wasn't terrible, but this one it's like, okay, you have added like extra systems onto this whole thing that probably only apply, like, sorry, they only apply to the fantasy one. But it is an interesting one that's like, because of the extra layers here, that while really all the new systems, when we want to be like being totally honest with it, all the new systems apply here. It's still, well, actually, no, that's not true, because the gear does apply in this one. But yeah, no, it feels like they did a good job of making it so there's layers to this, which is pretty nice. Versus, again, like, as being said in the previous one, you would just have, like, one new thing you had to deal with on your campus, which would be, like, a new room, a new instructor type, and that's kind of it. There's more to this one. So let me go ahead, and we're going to exit the main menu, and we're going to save and quit. And what's going to happen here is, like I said, I'm going to step away to use the restroom real fast. I'm going to take down the YouTube side of things for a moment, because we're going to be switching games here. Because then we're going to go check out the Wandering Village, which is a